we're live now. And it's important that you know that we're live now so that you don't talk, you know, all that
Bad stuff. I
bad
want.
stuff about DBAs and whatnot.
I want. No, I was actually, talking about containerized applications. And I think it's great how Oracle is embracing all the open source technologies like Docker.
Yeah.
They actually, have a special team dedicated to providing Docker containers for all their major products, like the Oracle database, of course,
Right?
the middle tier Java WebLogic container. So all of those products, I think, uh, the real thing about, or I think for developers, what's the best part of that is that you get to run their enterprise software within seconds, right? You don't have to go through a painful process of downloading software, installing it, configuring it, and a lot of times you run into a bunch of issues and you don't know how to fix them because there might be an issue specific to your environment.
Right.
So with this kind of tools that Oracle is helping the community, they actually are allowing you to move quicker, right?
Right.
So you can focus on your solutions more and less on going through the process of, okay, I need to get this before I actually work on my cool solution. So
Good.
so that's a good part, right?
So, all right. So, let's talk a minute about. There's a couple different aspects. So, Erik Espinoza here from Viscosity NA, one of our sponsors here at Oracle Code. Let's talk about Vagrant. Are you familiar with what we're doing with Vagrant? It's kind of similar to our Docker
Yes,
stuff.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think the advantage of Vagrant is that it will give you a VM completely,
Right.
So you can build entire systems within the VM, right? It's slightly different to Docker, right? Docker is
Yes.
more like, let's share one hypervisor, where Vagrant is going to give you a VM at the end so you can, have more stability within that environment.
Right.
So, I see differences. I don't see those technologies, colliding, if that makes sense. I see them more like working together, right?
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Now, okay, so let's kind of take a hop way over here and talk about Apex application. Apex, getting back to that, building your application with the data inside
Right.
the database. Let's talk about some of those, the developer advantages to that.
So I think the first thing is, again, how rapid development you can achieve with Apex. Like the first thing I can think of is you don't have to spend time thinking about building your own components, right? Because a lot of the times, a lot of cycles I'll spend in back and forth between, okay, I need to create a visual component that works well with my data and also has good performance. So Apex, solves a lot of those issues for you. So you focus on, creating a solution around your data the way it is, right? You don't have to be jumping through hoops to connect to your data. Like sometimes, we refer to heavy stacks, right? You have to have multiple layers of software in between what the client is going to use and your data, right?
Right.
And that has a cost, right? So Apex is close to the data, right, where the data is, and you get the advantage of, developing quicker solutions. So I think, to me, I'm a very heavy Apex supporter because I started 8 years ago in Apex. So
Oh, right on.
yeah, I've been around Apex a long.
So what do you think of 5.2? Have you poked around with any of the early access stuff?
Yeah, one of the things that I'm more excited, well, not the only thing, but something that was a pain point before, at least for some use cases that I had, was the ability for you to like hook into the Apex session, right, from
Right.
PL/SQL.
Uh-huh.
I back in the day I had to do a couple of hacks because I needed to fulfill some use cases where I needed to do something like on a job, right? Not necessarily from an Apex session, but I do needed, access to the Apex session data. So I did do some hacks back in the day that no, I won't have to do it again. So that's one of the features that I think is very
nice.
cool, right?
Yeah.
And it was, I think, a long due feature, which I'm very happy that we're going to have in 5.2.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. Well, what are you working on right now? Anything in particular that's really cool about your projects?
Yeah, I'm working on a big project to migrating a huge Kubernetes system into the cloud, and also migrating a application that is running in WebLogic to JCS. So it's a super exciting project because it's a very, very big system, and I get the chance to put a foot on both worlds, right? Probably something that was done in the 90s, I guess, the legacy application, and it's still running. And we're going to migrate it to something, more new as JCS. And also the Kubernetes part, I think that's very exciting. I mean, it's one of the key components in future distributed systems. So definitely, I'm very looking forward to finish that project.
Right on. Well, good luck with that. It's great talking with you, Eric. We'll be talking more in the future, I'm sure, okay?
Sure.
All right, we'll see ya.
Thank you.
Thanks.